the most difficult discipline in marketing is understanding which tactics will drive the most demand, create the most demand when you might not be able to directly attribute that they do. Okay? That is the most difficult thing to do in marketing. The most difficult discipline, I think. So, I do have an example. This is a silly example, but I think it makes it's the most obvious. So let's pretend you put a billboard up on the side of the freeway. If you've ever been to Utah, we've got loads of them, like billboards everywhere. You put a billboard up on the side of the freeway. How do you measure whether or not that's creating the demand you hope it is, right? It's an awareness play. Now, I've seen some people try and make it like a little more easier to measure, right? Like they have the billboard and then they have like a little URL beneath it with some, I don't know, like unique thing that they try and make easy to remember. I've never done this, so I don't want to speak on whether it works or not, but like as a consumer, I don't remember any of those. So I don't know if I've visited pages like that. But that's one way you try and like more directly measure it. But overall, like there's no direct attribution, right? So you put up a billboard and you're just trying to build awareness, and then you probably what the proxy would be is just direct site visits might be one, or branded search could be another proxy for measuring whether that's doing it or not. But you won't really know. Like you could probably too, as customers come in, if you're doing a lot of customer interviews, you might be able to like ask them, hey, how did you find out about us, and see what they say. And that might be one way. But it's tough, right? I think a billboard's a real example. And there's a lot of those. There's plenty of that in social media. Community stuff is big too. Like that's that's really hard to measure. There's a lot of spots where people live where you won't be able to measure it as well. And I think that's one of the most difficult aspects of marketing, and why it's sometimes tough to measure what's best. So, do you agree? Or is there something that you think is a more difficult discipline?